about 3 years ago, I hit a point where I just was like, man, my kids are only going to be in the house for 3 more years. And I have this crazy hunger to just spend time with them. My wife had homeschooled them, and just the relationship they had for the time together was amazing. HP was really flexible and I got time with them, but there's nothing in just nothing versus having the space in your life to be truly present in every moment. So that was a catalyst. But then if we're talking on the professional side, so the question became, as I started to think about possibly stepping down at some point, where do I go with it? Who's my successor? And I've always had the value, like I really wanted a successor from within if possible. And I was lucky that several years back, this woman, Andrea Noseda, who came across my path, who had been in the business at HP for a number of years, didn't know anything about Treasury at the time, but I interviewed her along with a bunch of other treasurers for, essentially a capital markets type role. And in interviewing her, I asked some really technical Treasury questions as part of it. And at first, I was amazed by her business acumen and her energy level, and all those things were right. But even when I asked the technical Treasury questions, even though she didn't have the depth of an answer that a Treasury professional might have, I just saw wisdom and strategic understanding there. And I was like, this woman has amazing potential in the Treasury space. And so I took the bet of like, let's hire someone from the business who doesn't know anything about Treasury and throw her into the fire and see what happens. And man, I'll tell you what, I don't know that I have any greater joy in my career than watching her develop from there. I mean, she was just hungry. Anything I could teach her, any banker she could talk to, any conference she could go to, any NOI group she could attend, she was there soaking it up. And the other thing was, I think of everything like a coach as a leader. And so, it's just like muscle development where you've got to stress the system and then you've got to let it recover. And we had some stressful moments early on. A couple of her team members moved on early on, and she's kind of thrown into the fire without a team. And every time she just sort of increased in knowledge. And I got to where I was putting her up in front of the CFO. I was putting her up in front of the CEO. Later on, I was able to get her in front of the board and just watching her grow. And there came a point where I was like, you know what? I think she's ready. And that realization provided me, I guess, number one, great comfort that she was going to have to interview. She was going to have to compete for the role, but I knew I had a viable successor internally. And there's even a couple others within HP that I developed and worked with over the years who I actually think could be treasurers somewhere. So that's fun to have, that legacy. But her being ready, at some point I hit the irrational personal decision that, look, I've got this personal desire to step out, but beyond that, I don't want to stand in somebody else's way. You know what I mean? I don't want to delay her for 3 years from something she can do when I've got passions elsewhere as well. And so, I started that by just giving over huge chunks of my treasurer job while she was, still the AT, and allowing her to get some of the experiences other people gave me. And then eventually just gradually transitioning so much of it off and leaving to give her the opportunity to step up. And I couldn't have been more delighted the day I heard that they had decided that she would be the treasurer. I had lunch with her actually just a couple days ago, and I enjoy spending time with her. And it's just one of the greatest joys of my career to see her being my successor and they're, hopefully prepping the next generation as well.